we're in the utility room of a customer who's installed the T5000 CarbSoft. This is the unit we have that also removes whole house chlorine. The tanks are really tall because most of the height is this larger diameter tank that's full of coconut carbon. That's what removes the whole house chlorine. The smaller diameter tank that's shorter down at the bottom, that's what contains the fine mesh resin. Most water softeners today don't use fine mesh resin. Most all the major manufacturers offer units that use fine mesh resin, but they don't work because the valve technology they use can't rinse iron out of them, basically. This unit will actually replace an iron removal filter system and a water softener all in one. One of the things that's really different about this unit, and you wouldn't know it from looking at it, but it actually regens under a very strong vacuum. That vacuum is so strong that if the tanks were not extra heavy duty, for instance, if we used a tank like a conventional water softener, the vacuum that is applied during the regeneration would actually implode and crush that tank. About the only similarity this has to other water softeners is it has a brine tank that you can put either sodium chloride or potassium chloride in. Instead of using a fleck valve or an auto-troll valve as is used in inline injection water softeners offered at Home Depot and the big box stores, as well as all of the big brand water softener manufacturers, they all use what's called a fleck valve or auto-troll valve. This unit actually uses hydraulic valves, which is part of that regeneration under a vacuum. Some other things that are really different about it is on a conventional water softener, the brine solution that's in the brine tank is diluted with dirty water when the unit regenerates. This unit makes the brine in the brine tank starting with clean water, and then it actually does not dilute the brine. It pulls it in under the vacuum full strength, and that helps cut down in bacteria growth, which is a really big problem in conventional water softeners that nobody talks about. This unit will actually replace a dedicated iron removal system. In parts of the country where there's so much iron in the water, you have to have something to take it out. Generally, you put in a separate system. This does it all with one system, the water softener and the iron removal systems all in one. Every other two-tank system on the market is what we call a flip-flop, meaning that one tank is regenerated, you use the other tank until it's depleted, and then it flips over to the regenerated tank. So it flip-flops back and forth between the two tanks. This is the only two-tank system on the market where both tanks are used simultaneously, and that makes a huge difference in performance, because if the water is split between the two tanks, it means it's traveling at half the speed and being exposed to the resin and the carbon for twice as long. Well, this unit has a very impressive control board, unlike any other water conditioner. We can actually program in here your specific water conditions, and depending on your water conditions, we'll tell this unit how often to regenerate. There's actually a turbine in here, and it actually measures every gallon of water that's used in this household. In fact, on the screen here, you see that 231,461 gallons have been used through this unit. On this control panel, it's actually able to handle 4 tanks. We're only using 2 for the residential unit. But in commercial applications, we'll typically use 4 tanks per controller and multiple controllers. We can do multi-building facilities management water treatment that have almost an unlimited number of tanks. And this is so much more efficient than having 2 giant tanks that flip-flop. And this is the only system anywhere that I know of that can do that. The amazing thing about this unit is we've actually tested the salt content of the raw water going in compared to the water coming out, and we measure no more salt in the conditioned water coming out than what the salt was naturally occurring in the raw water. That's unheard of in a water softener that uses salt. This unit actually exceeds the efficiency standards established by some counties in California that attempted to ban traditional water softeners. So you can still install this unit in those counties. We ship these all over the country, and that's not something that's typically done. It turns out we're the only business on the internet that's allowed to ship these for the manufacturer. And at this point in time, most likely you don't have a distributor in your area, which is why we're able to ship them. If you do order this from us, we will provide installation tips and after the sales support both to you or your installer before the unit's installed.